Today I thought it'd be fun to share some of my favorite Disney pins in my collection, but specifically and only open edition pins. For years when I started pin collecting, I only collected open edition pins because I didn't know limited edition pins were a thing. Being a kid and going to the parks every few years, the open edition pins just on the pin racks were kind of my souvenirs of choice. And I think the park's open edition pins really are some of the best ways to get into pin collecting. Now I really do like to collect limited edition pins, which obviously are quite special. Because they're limited in number, they're pretty rare and can get quite valuable. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some really cool open edition pins out there. So that's why I wanted to put the spotlight on specifically my favorite OE pins and kind of show some that are relatively old and have actually been retired for a while, some that are actually brand new, some that are from some of the international Disney parks. So an open edition pin may end up being in the parks for a few months, it might be there for a year, or maybe there for many years. But that means that these pins are generally most accessible to the average guest visiting the parks. There's a number of open edition pins that are available on Shop Disney for you to buy right from home. And the price points are also cheaper than the limited edition pins. So I'm specifically only including open edition pins that are at the Disney parks. I'm not counting things from Shop Disney or any Disney licensed pins. And then I'm also not including hidden Mickey pins in this. These are specifically just your open edition rack pins. And then I think I might have one open edition mystery pin. So let's get on with a little tour of some of my favorite open edition Disney pins. So I'm starting off with a pin that technically is an open edition, but it is a pin that is quite old and rare for being retired. This is a beautiful Disneyland marquee pin. This was released during Disneyland's 50th birthday celebration. So it was an open edition pin that they released for that, but obviously since it's a specific celebration, it's not going to be available for too long of a time. But you can see the super pretty translucent enamel there, and it's actual fabric that fills in the flags. Next, I have this matching set of partner statue castle pins. So I have the Walt Disney World version. This is actually one of my oldest pins that I got in 2003. You can see how much more tarnished the metal is on this one because I would always wear it on my lanyard and then I had it displayed on my board throughout all the years. And then it was just a few years ago that I found they had a matching one for Disneyland and Sleeping Beauty's castle. So I love these pins because it marries kind of two iconic things together, the partner statue and the castle. What's interesting with this is that these pins are the same height, but the Sleeping Beauty castle one is so much bigger because this castle is actually so much smaller. So the scale of these are kind of funny, but I love having these as a matching castle set. This is another pin I love that I got about 10 years ago now, and it is this Walt Disney World logo pin with all of the park's icons. Obviously you can tell that this has definitely been retired for quite a long time because we no longer have the sorcerer's hat at Hollywood Studios. But I love this pin because it does commemorate all of the park icons. I do feel like Hollywood Studios is kind of missing that icon. Tower of Terror is nice, but it's kind of odd to have it as an attraction. I really do miss the ear hat there. I'm just going to show a few more older open edition pins. This is one of the original Disney's California Adventure pins. This was for a little quick service stand, Sam Andreas Shakes, delicious to a fault. The milkshake even moves around on there like it's being rattled in an earthquake. This pin is so special to me because it's for my geology pin collection. Obviously, San Andreas Fault, Sam Andreas Shakes. So this was an awesome find for me. Next up, I have this amazing High School Musical pin. I love this so much. I am a huge High School Musical fan. The year the first High School Musical movie came out, I had a High School Musical murder mystery themed birthday party. And this pin is so cool because it has Minnie, Mickey, Donald, and Daisy as Troy, Gabriella, Sharpay, and Ryan on there, which is too funny. If only you could still find open edition High School Musical pins in the parks. I then really love this Stitch tourist eating ice cream pin. This was a pin when I first started trading online I had found and kind of was one that I immediately just loved and wanted. I think what I love about this so much is I love it when characters are kind of dressed up as other characters or kind of like in park attire. So Stitch has his little Mickey hat on, he has a Mickey shirt, and then also the ice creams are perfect because I love sweets and snacks. Now moving into some more recent open edition pins that are really cool. This one is a Tower of Terror pin, and there are a lot of really cool Tower of Terror open edition pins. This one is neat because it has a really cool special element. So you have Donald, Mickey, and Goofy riding the ride, and then, oh no, they've dropped down and you have their terrifying faces. So this pin actually has a little slider on the back, and you can see it is really thick. So I love that this pin has a lot of movement to it. And then I also think it's so funny, like they're actually riding the ride. Here I have a newer Splash Mountain open edition pin. It says everything is satisfactual. I hope you can tell by my channel name and, you know, intro and outro that I love Splash Mountain. So I love the design of this pin. It also has really nice glitter on it. Such a cool OE. This Cuddle Party pin with the otters from Finding Dory is one of my favorites because I love otters and I think this is so cute. The scene with the cuddle party is just perfect. I think this pin actually has a little bit of a flaw. One of the paws is colored lighter, but I think that makes it a little bit more special. But this was just such a simple, cute pin. This is the one open edition mystery pin that I included because, I mean, hello, this is so gorgeous. This is from the Soarin' Around the World mystery pin set. They had a different set at Disneyland and Epcot, but only one pin was different, and that was whether it was going to be Disneyland or an Epcot pin, since obviously the ride will end at the respective park. And I just think that this pin is so pretty. I love the purple colors, and I love a good castle pin. Here's another Disneyland open edition pin that I love, a relatively new one too, and this is the Sculpted Metal Classic D. It has like a castle spire in the middle. They have a matching one for Walt Disney World, but I love the style of the Disneyland font and logo. This is just such a beautiful, I think, classic timeless pin. One of my absolute favorite open edition pins is this Recuérdame, Remember Me pin from Coco. I love the design of this. I just think it's so, so beautiful. It has so much nice screen printing on it. They really do not have many Coco pins in the US parks, which is a little strange because I think that there should be a lot more Coco pins, but the ones that they do have are stunning. Another one of my recent favorites is this really sweet Marie pin. It says, "Because I'm a lady, that's why." So I really like this open edition pin for a number of reasons. First, it has a pin-on pin, so extra cool elements. You have this translucent enamel, and then you have the two rhinestones there. So I love it when they have more detail like this on open edition pins. And then it also reminds me of my cat Micah. We call her Little Lady because she is a little lady, except she's a very big cat, but she's a little lady in her demeanor. This was an open edition pin I was so excited when they previewed because it features Powerline from a Goofy movie. The Powerline songs from a Goofy movie are just some of the best songs, period. I love that Goofy movie is kind of having a moment again since, you know, 90s things are more popular. And I just love that we finally have a super awesome pin with Powerline on it. This here is actually a really new open edition pin, and I just got it last month on my trip to Disneyland, and it's a new Space Mountain pin. I do really like the Space Mountain pin out at Disneyland, and when I saw this, I just had to get it because the design is just so pretty. It has this really cute kind of retro looking Mickey. I love the shiny metal that they have for Space Mountain. It has the really nice screen printing, and this is just one that just kind of spoke to me and was like, buy me, Emily, buy me. And then another brand new open edition that I got on my trip to Disneyland is this Black Spire Outpost pin for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Obviously, I've talked about I'm not really into Star Wars, but I really like Galaxy's Edge and Black Spire Outpost, and this pin is so, so pretty. Again, I like it for its kind of detail. So the front is this really pretty sculpted metal, kind of like the skyline of the city. And then it's a hinge pin, so you can open it up, and on the inside it has BSO for Black Spire Outpost, and then like a little scene of the marketplace. So I really like this one because I think it perfectly commemorates my time there in Black Spire Outpost. Okay, so all of those pins I showed were pins from the US parks, but now I'm going to finish up with open edition pins that I really loved from the international parks. And I made sure to choose at least one pin from each park, so this was my pick for Tokyo Disneyland. Tokyo does have open edition pins for their attractions. This pin, I believe, has been retired for a while, but it is for the Haunted Mansion, and it has Minnie Mouse dressed up in the cast costume. There's a scary skeleton there that she's like, oh. But I love this one again because I think it's so cute when there are characters kind of dressed up as other things. This pin is one of my favorite open editions from Disneyland Paris. It has kind of a sad looking Stitch dragging or holding a scrump with one of the little ducklings, and I just think that this is such a sweet, unique design. What Paris really does well is the design of the pins. Their open editions generally don't have too many elements to them, but the designs really are what's awesome. I have a few open editions from Shanghai Disneyland that I love and wanted to share. The first is this Zootopia book pin, so it's kind of made to be like a notebook. You have all these elements of Zootopia on the front, and then it opens up and you can see Nick and Judy running inside. There's also tons of glitter. So this pin is just really cool with its design and all the elements to it. One other Shanghai Zootopia pin that I love is this little character spinner pin. It has all the main characters from Zootopia on it, and they're kind of in their cutie forms. They seem to be in the Jared Maruyama style. So I love this one for the uniqueness of its design. Again, it has the extra kind of fun spinning element, and it's just super cool. This is one of my most recent open edition pin acquisitions from Shanghai Disneyland, and this just came out for the summer, and this pin is just so cute. It has Mickey and Minnie as a little pin on pin in front of the castle. They're just in this adorable summer gear. Minnie even has like a little watermelon purse. They have an ice cream with 3D elements. There's even extra screen printing details. Everything about this pin is just so pretty and so awesome that it's just an open edition. I am ending this out with showing my favorite open edition pins from Hong Kong Disneyland because pretty much nowhere does better open edition pins than Hong Kong. This one here is from their recent Let's Craft series. It has Minnie, Mickey, Donald, and Daisy on it. There's a whole big pin on pin there. There's so much glitter. There's a dangle with 3D. So this is just a really thick, hefty pin. Everything about it is beautiful. I love the design, and I love this because I am a huge crafter. I have these two food open edition pins from Hong Kong Disneyland. I believe this Chip and Dale latte is still available in the parks, but the Minnie and Mickey macaron I think has been retired for a while, and this macaron pin is just one of my absolute favorites in my entire collection. Both of these are so pretty because they have, again, all these glitter elements. They have these extra 3D elements. So they are just all around beautiful. And I've talked about this macaron pin before. To me, it's just like perfection in a pin. And then finally, some of my favorite open edition pins. These are from Hong Kong. These are this beautiful set of retro Minnie and Mickey campers. These just kind of have, you know, everything you'd want in a pin. They have so much shiny glitter to them. They have all these screen printing details, these extra elements like a little 3D and then like a little flag on there. The designs are so amazing. And I kind of can't believe that these are just open editions because these are just the coolest. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my picks for a number of my favorite open edition pins in my Disney pin collection. I think that this shows that there are some really cool open edition pins out there that are widely available. They're more easy to collect, and sometimes they might become retired and actually become quite valuable over time. So I'd really be interested to know if you are somebody who really does love to collect open edition pins, or maybe you are just kind of an exclusive limited edition pin collector and maybe only pick up an OE every now and again. Also, let me know if you'd be interested in me doing a video like this, but focusing specifically on my limited edition pins. That video would actually be very hard to do because there's so many that I love. I'd be like, well, this is one of my favorites, and this one, and this one, and this one. But if you want me to show any of my favorite LEs, just let me know. But thanks for watching!